Time for Turn the Page Tuesday. We start with a lot of the positives there with your top five, Rod. Now we get to the teams who need to flip that page. The Chicago Bears. The pages have been turning a little bit after what I would call an extremely slow start. Now Justin Fields becomes the quarterback. What have they looked like since?
Well, they definitely need to turn a page, and they're 2-0 since that Cleveland debacle when he got sacked a bunch of times, and now they have the Packers on the horizon. I know they're celebrating the win, but at the end of the day, you got to turn that page and start focusing on the Packers and focusing on how you're going to score points from the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, yeah, you've been riding your defense, but at the end of the day, you're not going to compete with Aaron Rodgers and that Green Bay offense unless they can score some points offensively. And secondly, they have to protect Justin Fields. I know he's young and he's strong, but those hits, they continue to add up over the season and eventually wear you down. He has to play smarter too. Get his butt down and don't take those big hits.
Yeah, he's taking a bunch, and I'm with you. If you're gonna compete there in the North, there's no way that you're gonna be able to do it unless you just start trusting in Fields. And like if you go watch him at Ohio State, he's capable of dropping back and passing 25, 30 times a game. He's capable of running and orchestrating that type of offense. And I think you need to slowly start to put that on his plate. Maybe not all at once, but they've been super, super conservative with him so far and been able to do it, been able to beat some bad teams with that strategy. But I just think you need to start really trusting him because this offense is ultimately going to go as far as Fields takes it. And I think he can handle a bit more than they've been giving him so far. Give him a few more opportunities to push the ball down the field. But like you're saying, that protection has been a serious issue. The one game basically couldn't even get a ball off where they had -1 yards total offense.
Yeah, I don't have anything else.
Okay, perfect. Let's get to our second team, the Cincinnati Bengals. They couldn't hit a kick here in Cincinnati. There's so much belief right now with Joe Burrow and the direction this team's going, and they had so many opportunities. Our guy Mason Crosby kept missing them late. The Bengals have a chance, another chance, despite all the Burrow interceptions. What's the story of the Bengals season so far?
I just think the Bengals are giving a terrific effort every single week. That's the thing that I see. The Bengals can, and this past loss should prove to them that they can play with anybody in the National Football League. You think about Joe Mixon, Higgins. All those guys are really impressive, but at the end of the day, man, you got to have confidence that you can play with anybody. And this team is loaded with talent. They're starting to trust each other. They're starting to come together. And aside from some missed kicks, field goals, man, these guys could, like you said, they could have won this game, and they should understand that they can compete with anybody in the National Football League.
Well, I think they should be feeling that right now. I mean, they go into Pittsburgh, beat the Steelers handedly, then they come back home and they go toe-to-toe with Aaron Rodgers, and they should have beaten them. I think a big story with Green Bay is Jair Alexander and his injury, his shoulder that he's going to miss a ton of time with now, what that means for the Packers over the long term. How does Green Bay, without their best corner and now with basically a rookie and a backup corner and Kevin King, how do they put the pieces back together? Because Jamar Chase exposed them. That's a rookie wide receiver who had a bad preseason, who's had an awesome preseason, who was just exposing their secondary. That trend will continue without Alexander. So I am worried about where this team goes long term. But for the Bengals, I think the pieces are all there. And is it all going to be perfect this year? Maybe not. I think this is a potential playoff team this year. Is going to have to battle a really tough second half of their schedule. But as I look to next year and maybe a year after that, this is a team that can compete for championships. I think they're built with a ton of talent, and I'm believing in Joe Burrow overall. I just think he has a different kind of mind about him, and that continues to show its face on the field as he goes head-to-head with Aaron Rodgers and should have won.
Yeah, I like the defense. I like Bates and Von Bell and those guys, and you just see on the defensive side of the ball, those guys are flying around. They're playing with enthusiasm, and they believe that, hey, we're not the old Bengals. We're not the same old Bengals. We got some new blood in here. We finally have a head. We got a quarterback. We got a running back. We got weapons on the outside. We got a defense that plays extremely hard. So if I'm with the Bengals, I'm pretty confident, just like you. If they don't make the playoffs this year, I see this team making the playoffs next year and into the future. they're going to be a problem to be dealt with the next 10 years because Joe Burrow is going to continue to get better. And trust me, he doesn't want to continue to turn the ball over. That's something that he's going to continue to work on.
It's crazy to think like Big Ben is probably, really not even probably, he is the least talented quarterback in the AFC North, right? The least talented. Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. I'm taking any of those three with ease over Big Ben Roethlisberger. Get you to your final one. In Vegas, it will now be the special teams coordinator who's going to take over as the head coach. So what about this Raiders offense? Carr, he's been some added responsibility, but really it is Gruden's offense. Gruden is the play caller. Where does this team go offensively? Whose offense will it be? Who's going to call plays? And how much added responsibility now goes to Derek Carr?
Why are you asking me? I don't know.
I don't know.
How are you asking me? Like, whoever the offensive coordinator is, he's going to have to call plays. But the bottom line is this. Run the football. You went out and got Josh Jacobs for a reason. And if he can stay healthy, you can run the football. You got a big offensive line. And get Darren Waller the ball. There's no way he should go through a game without 10 opportunities, 10 targets per game. It's just like Mark Andrews. Get him 10 targets a game. He's 6'5", 6'6". He's super athletic. And you name me one linebacker, one safety that can cover this guy. Nobody can cover him. So if I'm running the offense, I'm focusing on running the ball, getting the ball to Darren Waller, using play action pass, and stretching the field.
If you had to guess at this point, and you weren't a huge believer in the overall, not Oakland, Vegas Raiders to begin with, you really weren't. You were just saying, let me wait and see. I want to get past the first month or two of the season. I want to see where this season goes before I tell you that I'm all the way bought in. If you had to guess at this point, and it's really nothing more than a guess, it's a talented team. You have no clue what the coaching staff is going to look like moving forward. Do you believe that this season falls apart, or they figure out a way to still continue to win games?
I think they're going to be average. I mean, if I look at the Raiders and I had to forecast the future, I would say this is kind of an 8-9 type team, maybe 7-10 at the worst case scenario. And that's why I told you earlier, we'll have to figure out or see exactly how their leaders handle and how well they play and things like that. A lot of times this could bring you together. A situation like this can bring you together and really propel you to the next level if you have the right leadership. Or sometimes, hey, maybe we lose our offensive coordinator if you're Derek Carr and John Gruden, and maybe that takes pressure off of him because, John Gruden was constantly in his face. Maybe this frees up Derek Carr. I don't know. We will see what happens, but we'll see. That's all I can say now.
It's a major wait-and-see situation, isn't it? You just have no clue what's going to happen because not only was he the coach and the play caller and somebody who was brought in to take, in theory, that was going to take Carr to another level, he, like Bill Belichick, had complete control over the roster. Mike Mayock is the general manager, but Mike Mayock couldn't make a personnel decision without a sign-off from Gruden. So now it's like, does Mayock now take over all of that responsibility and he can handle trades and he can handle personnel? And is he going to choose who the play caller is? I just think there's 1,000,000,001 unanswered questions when it comes to the actual team moving forward and where they go.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.